It's Wednesday, December 10th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host for today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Jacob Gamegna, and we have a great show for you today. Got a great show, jam-packed. We're going to be talking some NBA, college football, some bowl games. To lead things off, Mr. Peanutbettor, live from my couch, because apparently he's in the piss after, well, I mean, it's not over yet, but apparently he's in the piss after the that Big Ten championship game that might have dictated the Heisman winner. We don't know yet. We'll see on Saturday, but he will be live from my couch apparently, because he's been texting me all week saying, hey, do you think I can crash there for a couple weeks before I get back on my feet? I said, Mr. Peanutbettor, for you, no problem. No problem at all. We're going to be talking college football playoffs. Look at the bracket, break down every round one game, talk post round one, who has the easiest path, all those sorts of things. Maybe take some deep long shots there, look at the board, talk through that. Then after him, we'll have Step on the Duck coming on. You know him from the Action Network, but he's also in the chat over on Hit the Books. Frequent Hit the Books, I'll call him like a collaborator. Powers and Kanish working off him, and they always speak highly of him on Hit the Books. Very smart guy. So excited to talk to him about some FCF stuff, some college football bowl games. And, yeah, we're going to lead things off with the Army-Navy game. So if you want to get some bets on that, we'll talk about that first in the lead-off there with Step on a Duck. And then finally we close things out with Kirk Evans. We'll address the big elephant in the room. We'll talk NBA Cup reaction. We'll talk some NBA props. Because there's 2 NBA games tonight. And I wonder if Mr. Peanutbettor, I know he's an NBA guy. Maybe he'll have an NBA prop for us. But we'll have to see. Before we get into things, though, quickly, just want to remind you guys about Edgework Overtime. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we turn the Hammer Daily into Edgework Overtime. We have rotating, I'm doing air quotes, rotating guests and panelists because it seems like it's the same guys every single time. Moretto and So Money. They come on, talk hockey, 30 minutes straight, jam-packed show. It's good stuff. You like watching and talking hockey. We're there. And the chat is always into it. Always into it. All right. Edgework Overtime. Don't miss it. Every Tuesday and Thursday. Also, just don't miss a single show. How about that? Before we get to things, do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. And let's get into things here. Let's bring them on. It's college football better. College football enjoyer. Recently, someone who's moved to Canada and is now living on my couch. Mr. Peanutbettor, how's my place looking?
Call me broke, call me what you want. Don't call me Canadian. That's all I can say.
You're still American at heart, but no visa there. You were doing this quietly under the table. But yeah, my place is nice and tidy. Happy to see that. Hope my couch is comfortable for you. Is it warm? Are you good? Able to keep the heat on?
You don't strike me as a tidy guy. You strike me as a mess. Probably bad roommate.
Same.
I think that you probably were always leaving stuff in the dishes or in the sink.
No. Well, you could go walk over the sink and tell me right now. Maybe you can show us. But yeah, no, I like my place actually to keep my place relatively clean. So that's a crazy statement to start off the show. Anyways, catching me off guard here. Let's talk playoff preview. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start like big picture first? Do you want to break down the first round games?
Sure. I would say big picture.
Okay.
Last year, everybody was very worried. It seemed like Oregon kind of got a rough draw, having to face Ohio State in the second round. People were wondering, do you even want the bye? The seeding didn't seem like it worked out. This year, for the most part, the seeding more or less kind of worked out, in my opinion, where you have Indiana has probably the easiest second round matchup. I think it goes pretty much in order. I would say that Georgia probably has an easier upcoming opponent than Ohio State after the first round. But for the most part, I think they pretty much got it in the order that you would want if you were listing these teams, easiest path to hardest path. So I thought more or less, the top of the bracket looks right, which should be interesting, kind of to see if we get as much weird action as we did last year where, the 1 seed loses so early.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's a good draw there. I wonder if the committee sort of handpicked and decided to make it like that, or if that's just kind of how things fell. It kind of feels like that's how things fell, or maybe they were building towards it throughout the season. Feels like that outside of Indiana. Yeah. Georgia has that easy path with Tulane and Ole Miss. If you want to get into the games now, maybe we'll talk and lead as the Tulane and Ole Miss game because, I mean, I think it's the one of the more interesting ones to talk about because Ole Miss feels like a question mark. We don't really know how they're going to look without Lane Kiffin. They have the same coordinators. I get that. But when I talked to Corby about this on Monday, he mentioned that when you see like a defensive coordinator elevated, oftentimes there might be a lack of detail from the defense as a result of it because now that defensive coordinator has more hats to wear, has more things to do in a given week. Do you think that this could be like a more leaky Ole Miss team than we're used to seeing?
I don't think so. A lot of that to me comes from not being used to the ins and outs of a week of a college football. If you're a head coach, you've been around long enough that you can certainly that you have to get your scout team time in there. You have to get in walkthroughs on Thursday. You have to do all the things kind of that go in the weekly process. But when we're talking about this big of a layoff, there is no plan for this long of a layoff for each coach, and each coach handles it differently. So I'm not as concerned about the defensive coordinator bumping up to head coach just because I don't think it's a normal situation. So I don't think that there's less of an advantage there. I think for Ole Miss, more my worry would be that the coaches kind of have split focus, worrying about two things at once. It's really hard to get to a new school. You have a million things to do as far as recruiting, setting up processes, talking about new staff, et cetera. So that would be my concern if I was Ole Miss. But for the most part, I don't think that's going to be an issue just because this isn't the Cheez-It Bowl or this isn't the Pop-Tart Bowl where they might have split loyalties. It's the biggest game they'll probably have ever coached for most of them. So I think that that's kind of overrated, and I'm not too concerned kind of with the coaching change here.
Okay, yeah, and listen, Ole Miss, massive favorites here, 17.5-point favorites. Totals at 56.5. Ole Miss is probably going to win this game. Let's flip over and talk Oregon, James Madison. Before we do that, though, do you feel like we have to get rid of the Group of Five auto bid, or not the Group of Five auto bids, because it's not technically an auto bid, but like just having 5 conference winners in automatically? Do you feel like we need to get rid of this at this point? Because it's not that entertaining having 2 almost 20-point favorites in the first round, and you kind of feel a little bit shafted if you're like Texas A&M or Oklahoma, who are just like 1 or 2 ranks shy of getting a incredibly, like in the case of Oklahoma, getting an incredibly easy draw in the first round, and then it all being like an underdog in the first round. So it's like, how do you feel about like the Group of 5?
I believe they should get a shot in for the most part. I don't know if we need to overreact. Every year we react to the latest year's rankings and kind of make huge sweeping changes. For the most part, this never happens where we get 2 Group of 5 teams. The ACC really being whatever kind of mess it is the reason we got this more than it is, the rules set up to help the Group of 5. So yeah, it's kind of a charity case. If it's one, it's a charity case that, to be honest, I'm kind of okay giving. If you wanted to put in like, hey, they have to have a minimum ranking of 25, I would probably be okay with that. Both teams would get in there. So maybe you want to make it 15 or 20 in order to prevent this, or you want to have some rule where 2 teams under 15 don't get automatic bids. I don't know. I think that we are changing so much so fast and overreacting to one year that we see so much that I would be cautious, maybe just let it sit for a little bit, see if this happens or is a consistent problem, happens twice, then you can change it. For now, I'm okay just leaving it.
All right. Oregon, James Madison, Oregon, 21.5-point favorites here. Totals at 50.5. They've earned themselves a relatively easy path here. How do you like them against James Madison? Do you think an upset's on the horizon, or is this just games? Let the game play. It's going to happen. They'll win. And then how do you like them? How do they match up against Texas Tech?
James Madison's played one team with this quality of athletes and lost to Louisville in a game that they looked particularly ineffective with. Now, Alonzo Barnett has gotten healthier throughout the season. There's a chance, he was banged up enough in that game that makes a difference. But they're so physical, and the way they play is kind of relying on them beating you one-on-one. I don't think that's going to happen with the guys of Oregon. I think they have great defensive line. So to me, I really don't see James Madison. I think Tulane is more live than James Madison is, but I don't think either of them really are live in any way. As far as Texas Tech, the question for Oregon is they've really been banged up throughout the year, and they've really kind of lost everybody they have at wide receiver. How many of those guys get healthy, and how many of those guys, are good to play for this game. Versus Texas Tech, if they get their wide receivers back on the outside, it's really going to be a challenge for Texas Tech to guard them. If they don't get those guys back and they have to rely on trying to win along the lines of scrimmage, I think Texas Tech's defensive line is much better. So Oregon's got a couple guys that are questionable. I don't know, one, if they're going to be able to play, and two, what status they're in if they haven't played for 3 months or whatever. So to me, a lot of it is if those wide receivers get healthy before the Tech game, if they're able to play in the James Madison game, kind of get a game under them, get used to things. I would say that it's going to be hard for Tech to line up on the outside. I think that just, body for body, Oregon's better than Texas Tech, but this Texas Tech team is probably it's the closest thing we've had out of the Big 12 to a team that can match one of the Power 2 conferences.
All right. In terms of Oregon, though, how much do you think this is helpful for them in terms of just getting like 1 week healthier, getting James Madison as this draw, and how do you see them matching up against Texas Tech?
Yeah, just the time before James Madison is the time that they get to be healthier.
Yeah.
Versus Tech, I think that both defensive lines are really going to dominate the offensive lines. Dominate's probably too strong of a word, but I think both defensive lines for each school are going to be able to kind of control the matchup. So it's going to come down to what's on the outside. Oregon probably has the better quarterback going into this matchup, but Texas Tech likes their kid too. So it really should be. I mean, these are pretty similar level programs, and I would probably make Oregon a slight favorite, but I would have the spread within 3 either way.
Yeah, I think that's reflective of the odds as well. Like Oregon being like slight. Oregon being like plus 750 to win the national championship, Texas Tech plus 900. So obviously, books like Oregon a little bit more to play to beat Texas Tech here. Let's go to the 2 closer first round matchups, starting with Alabama and Oklahoma. We saw them play earlier in the year. Oklahoma ended up winning that game. Right now, it's essentially a pick 'em. Do you think that John Mateer, who has ever since the thumb injury has kind of looked terrible, do you think we have a chance to see him peak at the right time and take this team on kind of a crazy run?
I don't think the injury has been the issue for Mateer since he's come back. He hasn't, to me at least, looked much different as just a pure passer. He's made poor decisions, but that was always kind of in the plan for John Mateer. I think really he kind of ran hot at the beginning of the season, and since he's come back, he's been playing on the bottom percentile. That certainly can be fixed around Oklahoma, but I don't know necessarily if you think, this time off is going to help this thumb injury that he had, and it's going to be, the savior. It's possible. I'm not saying ruling it out, but I don't believe that if Oklahoma wins, it's going to be primarily because Mateer's thumb got so much healthier. I think that more likely is they're able to reset. They haven't been able to run the ball at all. And I think that being able to reset, we saw something semi-similar last year with Ohio State. Ohio State had injuries along the front of their line. That time between the bowl game, they said, was really big in helping them kind of restructure how they did things. I think that for Oklahoma, that could be just as important as getting Mateer healthy for this game.
All right. And then finally, let's talk of Miami, Texas A&M. A lot of people were kind of excited about Miami coming into the playoffs with the fact that first of all, I know a bunch of people, I know Powers out there, 200 to 1 ticket on Miami to win the national championship because it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion that they weren't going to make the playoffs. Ended up making the playoffs here. Interesting story. You think they have enough to beat Texas A&M, go on a little bit of a run here? Right now, 3.5 point underdogs. A&M are the favorites here. Totals at 51.5. Break down this game for us. Do you think Miami can go on a run?
I do. Miami is, speaking of quarterbacks getting healthy, a lot of people thought Beck was banged up throughout the end of last season. If you look at some of his throws and where he targeted them at the beginning of the season versus the end, he started targeting more short throws throughout at the end of the year compared to the beginning of the year. I think that along the lines, they match up just fine with Texas A&M, and that's really when we talk about like these SEC schools historically versus ACC, Big 12, stuff like that. That's the two things with Texas Tech and Miami. Both of them match up along the line pretty well, which is where obviously they'll have to hold up. At Texas A&M is another story. It's going to be loud there. They have one of the louder stadiums in the country. I really think that it will be a challenge for them along the fronts to kind of keep that noise out. If they can, then I think that they're pretty well set up to beat Texas A&M in multiple other ways. And I think really they have one of the higher ceilings of all these teams. So if they are able to get it in gel and get past the first round, they have a pretty high ceiling for the rest of the matchups.
All right. Let's take a little. Okay, first of all, and any if you have to pick one game, your favorite pick for the first 4 games of the college football playoffs of the first round, which side or total would you have to pick? I'm forcing you to pick one. That's your favorite. Give us one that you like. You can look at the board. I can talk you through the board as well. I don't know if you have it pulled up.
I got it. I got it pulled up.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I think that I would go ahead and lay the points with Ole Miss.
Okay.
They've already played Tulane. It's going to be in Ole Miss. This tempo offense allows for teams to gain margin from one another. So I think that if I had to pick one here, it would be Ole Miss to cover a big number. I think they're going to be less likely to kind of hold stuff back than they would in a regular season at a similar number.
All right. Let's talk some national championship futures. FanDuel is a pretty extensive, an interesting menu. Looking at some futures they have. They have some interesting markets, like their seed special market, where it's like seed number to win the national championship. Some of seeds to win the championship game. Exact sum of seeds to make the championship game. Have you looked at any of these markets? Is this something that's like sort of? I like looking at these niche markets because you can find alternate ways to bet on teams and get almost a better price on certain things. For example, they have sum of seeds to make the championship game over 6.5, under 6.5. It's priced at -155, over 6.5. Anything you like here in terms of any of these exotic bets, we'll call it?
I have not actually looked into the exotic bets, but yeah, I think that there's a lot of value in those. You can use the futures as a decent proxy for the price or probability of these teams making it, and kind of come to your own number and then tweak it accordingly if you think that some of the futures markets aren't correct. So obviously they get that number derived from their own futures. Yeah. So there probably isn't going to be any value on the regular, although sometimes you can be surprised, I would say, but you can find spots where if you want to stack an edge, say you think that, Ole Miss and Oregon are way better than their chances of losing are way lower than even what the market's implied, then you can go ahead and bet some probability based on that. So you can kind of stack edges in that way and find less efficient markets, especially if the market moves. That's a good opportunity to get in on some of those.
All right. Awesome stuff there. Let's get you and force you to predict this one. Give me who you think is going to be in the semifinals, and then give me who you think is going to be in the national championship game, and then give me a winner right now. Predict it. Go.
Let's say semifinals, Indiana, Oregon. We're going to have a rematch of what happened in earlier this season where they played at Oregon. This time around, they'll be playing the Peach Bowl. And then Ohio State versus Georgia. I'm going to go pretty chalk here on all my picks. I think that those really 5 teams have kind of separated themselves from one another, Oregon and up being kind of the elite class of the college football. And then in the finals, I think we're going to have a rematch of the Big Ten championship. It's Ohio State versus Indiana. They've been the 2 best teams all season. I think that it's kind of setting up pretty perfectly for another rematch. And we get something similar to when LSU played Alabama those 3 times within the season.
Yeah. And you have Ohio State winning, or you have Indiana winning?
Oh, come on. OH.
All right. Ohio State to beat Indiana. If you want the exact, you can get it at FanDuel, plus 500. Is that something that you would click right now? Or would you need a better price?
No. I would just go Ohio State to win it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, appreciate you, Mr. Peanutbettor. Any final thoughts before we head out? Any opinions on, I don't know, some other markets out there? Maybe like some awards. Any opinion on the Doak Walker, the Blitnikoff?
Heisman's not dead yet.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Heisman's not dead yet. Read every poll that's coming out, Jason. We're gonna have to eat a lot of humble pie here. Maybe if Pavia is able to pull those rabbit out of his hat one more time.
If he can do it, then good for him. But whatever, it is what it is. Happy we got a good little bit of content out of it. Anyways, there's a saying. I'm trying to pull it up. I forget what you said. What is it? It's something like, "Don't play chess with a pigeon. It'll just knock over the board, shit on the board, and strut around like it won." I think both of us are pigeons.
I wouldn't call you that, Jason.
Okay. All right. I was going to say both of us are pigeons, so it's going to depend on the outcome. But anyways, Mr. Peanutbettor, appreciate you joining. Mike, we'll talk soon.
See ya.
All right. Great stuff there. Do the dishes, please. I think I left some in there.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. All right. Awesome stuff from Mr. Peanutbettor, who is currently staying on my couch until further notice. And then maybe I'll have to stay on his couch if Pavia wins the Heisman. Who knows? Definitely not a lock just yet. Nothing's happened. We don't know. We won't know until Saturday, really. We won't know until Saturday. There was a significant move, though, 12-1 yesterday. Corby mentioned to bet it. He's plus 650 right now, Diego Pavia. So,
Are you sweating?
it doesn't matter.
It's the laugh of a nervous man right there. That wasn't confident at all.
I have nothing to sweat because Kirk didn't let me bet it. So, anyways, let's talk about. Let's bring on. Before we bring on our next guest, excuse me, just want to quickly talk to you about our sponsors over at FanDuel. Buckets, buzzer beaters, and your choice of rewards. That's how FanDuel does basketball season. With FanDuel, you can choose your reward, play it your way, pick what fits your game, and take control of how you bet. Take your shot with a profit boost. Play it cool with a no sweat bet, or get a little backup with a bet back token. Don't play your token now. It's just you save it for when Kirk comes on, because we're going to talk NBA with him, and we'll decide whether to use a profit boost token, a no sweat bet back token. We'll figure it out when Kirk comes on. Whatever fits your game, the choice is yours. That's what happens when you play on a sportsbook built for your game. However you play, FanDuel is giving you the power to choose your reward. Head over to FanDuel.com/forward progress to make your choice. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas City, affiliates with Kansas Star Casino, 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirement, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In New York, call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. Up next. You know him from the Action Network. I know him because Brad Powers and Joey Knish speak very highly of him over on Hit the Books. Step on a Duck. How's it going?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me on. Big fan of the show.
Oh, I appreciate that. I think you're the first person to come on and say that, because I don't think anyone else, any of the guests watch the show, but I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. Excited to have you on. Excited to talk through some college football stuff with you. I kind of left the playoff stuff to Mr. Peanutbettor because he was on right before you. If you want to touch on anything in terms of the playoff, I'll give you the floor right now if you have any opinion or anything you want to say. If not, we'll just move straight into bowl games talk, Army Navy. I'll let you kind of lead the way here.
Yeah, and I thought he was really astute in his assessment. I think that the Ole Miss play is really – we saw that one play out earlier in the season, and I still think that Ole Miss left a little meat on the bone in that first matchup with Tulane. They were in an SEC sandwich spot. Tulane, that's kind of an old rivalry from when Tulane was way back in the 30s and 40s when they were in the SEC. But it's kind of one of those games where it's a rival to one school, so you generally get Tulane's best. Well, Ole Miss punted one time in the game, and they had a couple drives that ended inside the Tulane 40 that did not result in points. But the final score was the final score, and I think we'll see a similar sort of dominant performance by the Rebels here. I don't think Tulane's very good in the trenches. I think they've been the benefactor of a lot of fluky variance with turnover luck defensively, things of that nature. So I really did like that Ole Miss play.
All right, yeah. Ole Miss, I think it was 17.5 you liked, minus 108 over at FanDuel. If you can like it, you can play that at FanDuel, like I just mentioned there. Let's dive into bowl season. Let's dive into some of the great games we have coming up here. Let's actually pause for the games in a second. Just touch on how you approach bowl season, right? With so much going on in terms of players opting out, transfer portal, stuff like that. How do you kind of approach betting bowl season, and especially betting games like this early before the games?
You know, this sort of element of betting on college football, I've had to change my prep more than any other point during the regular season. The only sort of greater cause for changing my prep regimen would have been probably the off season, but you know, with all the transfer portal and 5,000 players coming and going and all that. But that really manifests itself now. It's harder and harder than ever to try to get your fingerprint on which teams are motivated to be there or not. It's not easy to do, but some questions I try to answer are, do these players and the coaching staffs even care about winning the game? You look at a team like South Florida where their staff is already gone. Half of their players are going to follow Golish over to Auburn. Do these players even want the extra practices that are very important to many programs? Have preseason goals already been achieved, winning the conference championship, making their first bowl game in some time? Are players and coaching staffs just looking for a vacation spot to somewhere warm for the fans? Is the game even really that important? I look at some situations like, does a coach really even need to win a bowl game? You look at Ricky Ronnie over at Old Dominion, has never won a bowl game during his tenure. I would expect those guys to show up in that situation. How do teams historically perform in bowl games over the duration of a tenure of a head coach? We've got some bad bowl teams, Boise State, North Carolina State, which hasn't won a bowl game in 10 years. Utah has lost their last 5 bowl games. And then you have good bowl teams, teams that consistently show up ready to go. Ohio University, Memphis, Minnesota. You look at a team like Hawaii, who's playing in their first bowl game under Timmy Chang, and it's at home. You can rest assured knowing if you bet on the Rainbow Warriors, they're showing up in that game. Cal may as well, but you know that Hawaii is going to give their best at home for those fans for the first time in years. Of course, there are others, but you kind of get the idea. Mm-hmm. Service academies always show up. They don't have the outside noise of the portal distractions. Generally, the coaching staffs are consistently reliable to be there year to year. So Army, Navy, they're showing up. I look at other interesting trends in bowl season. You're trying to pick against the number, but really you're just trying to pick who wins the game. If a dog is going to cover the number, usually they win the game outright. 15 times last year, the dog won the game outright. It happened 19 times in 2023. So, it's kind of the NCAA tournament phrase of pulling the upset, but you can find situations where maybe the favorite has been there before and done that before, and they really don't care that much. And you can find that sort of feisty underdog that really wants to win that game. And generally that works out where if you're going to play underdogs in bowl season, you might sprinkle on the money line because that's worked out more often than not.
All right. Interesting enough. I appreciate the in-depth sort of like qualitative approach you take there with like going through each team, like understanding what their motivation is. Cause this is one of the very few times in terms of like sports in general where you can actually do that. And this stuff really, really does matter because it's almost impossible to quantitatively analyze how much these teams care or like who's going to sit and all those sorts of things. So very, very interesting there. Crazy question. Are you ever like deep on the message boards, like trying to find like a little nugget, or is that just too much of a time waster or time sink for you?
There's a lot of resources. Twitter's a really good resource because you can find information from beat writers. You can go to local newspapers. Some of the message board stuff can be valuable if you have guys that follow teams closely. It's just really, there's other resources that are out there pertaining to participation reports and which players are opting out, staffs that have already left for their new gigs. So even at Action Network, we have a couple of really good resources out there for people, but I know there's a wide variety of different resources that people can use. It's really important now more than ever. And the last thing I'll say on this, and it's part of how I've had to change my bowl prep. I used to love just getting the sheet together on Sunday night and firing in on some of the bowl games and getting ahead of some of the matchup line movement. But I am not firing away on hardly any of these games until 24 to 48 hours before kickoff, just because I really want to nail down who's participating, which coaching staffs are going to be there, how much bandwidth have these teams exhausted in preparation for this game, or have they turned the page to next year and are just looking for vacation mode. So I'm not firing away as early this bowl season or last, but we'll still have plenty of plays when it's all said and done.
Of course. Let's go through and start talking some of these games, and let's start with the Army and Navy game. Navy right now are the favorite 6.5 point favorites here at -102 over at FanDuel. Totals at 38.5 juice towards the under. How do you break down this game? Two teams you mentioned that are going to be motivated and wanting to play. Talk about this game for us.
Well, and this is the biggest regular season game for both of these teams, and one where you can expect max effort from both. Navy dominated a much better Army team last season, and you just talk about a team, even with less defensive talent than they had last year, but they will be so well prepared to defend the triple option scheme, just having intimate knowledge of the nuances of the scheme, how to defend the option, what Army wants to do. Navy will be really well prepared. When I was looking at this one, I thought it was so interesting. When you look at Navy's rush offense over the totality of the season, they ran for 3,282 yards, 38 rushing touchdowns, 6.1 yards per carry. Army really was not that effective on the ground. Averaged just 4.3 yards per rushing attempt, 25 rushing touchdowns. And 60% of Army's rushing attempts were executed by their quarterback. Well, Navy's going to sniff that one out here. I don't think that Army is explosive enough with the slot backs. They have less talent at fullback. And Helms tries to do as much as he can to carry the offense, but I just don't see that it's really going to work here. Then I look at Army defensively, 121st in overall defensive success rate surrendered and 97th against the run. I really like what Navy is equipped with offensively to be able to run the ball, to garner explosive chunk plays. Generally, in this situation, it's been a dog series and it's been an under series, but the books have become wiser and wiser to that total trend. We used to get these games in the high 50s, and then we would start to see it in the low 50s, mid 40s, 42, 41. Now at 38, I mean, this is where this is probably should be priced and should have been all along. But I'm not afraid of the big number here. I think Navy is supremely better talented. I think that they are going to win this game by double digits. It's not going to be a blowout, but I think Navy wins and covers.
All right. Do you think, I know you said the total feels about right, but do you think there's like a little bit of room towards the over here at the 38.5? Just because it feels like this is just such a trend we've seen like on Twitter over the past couple of years, even on like TikTok, Instagram reels. I've seen everyone talk about it. My friends send it to me. It's always just this big topic every time of year, and it might have like a slight effect on the books pricing here. Do you think there's slight interest in the over, or it's about right?
I think it's about right. You can even see some 37 and a halves that are starting to flash. What you have to avoid, because you're going to have about 8 or 9 possessions each, and each team is going to go on multiple lengthy drives, 12, 13, 14 plays, and those drives are going to exhaust 7 or 8 minutes. It's going to happen at least 3 times in the game. You have to ensure that those drives do not end in the opposing defense's red zone with 4th down stops. If you can avoid that, then I think this game will inch over.
All right. Awesome stuff there. Any bowl games that are sticking out to you that you have like sort of circled on your calendar? If not, I mean, we could just talk USC and TCU. If that's interesting to you. I like talking USC. What bowl games do you like or are interested in? I know you might not have a bet on it, but just from far out, looking down the road, what are the most interesting bowl games for you?
I mean, I think the first one's pretty interesting between Boise and Washington. It appears that the opt-out list for Washington is going to be minimal. Fish said that the guys were going to be ready to go and that they're showing up ready to play football here. And Boise has historically been a bad bowl team, have not won or covered a bowl game haven't covered a bowl game since 2018. And you look at some of the potential opt-outs, Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston, Davis, the corner for Washington, all have been almost assured that they're going to play in this one. And really, Washington's offense should be able to feast against a Boise State defense that I just really do not think is very good. Washington's offense was 8th nationally in offensive success rate, 16th in explosive plays. They should gash Boise State routinely against the Boise State defense that is really bad in surrendering explosive plays, 116th in yards per rush allowed. Washington should showcase here. I think Washington's big year is coming next year, so long as they can retain a lot of the talent that they have on that roster. This would be a big step forward for Washington, being able to really springboard them and keep the momentum going into next season. So I think Washington does show up here. You look at Boise State, they faced a lot of adversity this season with their quarterback going down. They lost back-to-back conference games. They backed their way into the conference title game, which they ultimately won. That was a big deal for them to win the conference again in their final year in the Mountain West Conference. It kind of feels like maybe their goals have been accomplished. If Maddox Madsen is at all still injured, I can't imagine him risking future performance to go out and try to win this bowl game. That really doesn't matter for what Boise's trying to do. So, yeah, I kind of like that. There's so many interesting ones. You know, we talked about trying to get your finger on the pulse of who's showing up, who's not showing up, and one of the harder ones to bet is Old Dominion, South Florida. Again, Old Dominion hasn't won a bowl game under Ricky Ronnie, so you would think motivation for that bunch will be at an all-time high. Colton Joseph, their exquisite quarterback, has already said that he's opting out and going to transfer and go elsewhere. And what players from South Florida are showing up? Half the team is likely trying to get to Auburn with Alex Golish. Is Byron Brown playing? Is he not playing? They've had 2 or 3 receivers that have been out for a while. Are they rushing to come back for this one? I just don't know. And so I look at Old Dominion. They're going to go to the running quarterback. They should be able to run the ball on this South Florida defense, which will only be about half a unit, half a platoon out there for South Florida's defense. and you get a dog that can run the ball. They're motivated to be there. They want to win. I think we talked about this earlier. You take a stab on Old Dominion on the money line. I think that's a group that'll show up.
Yeah, plus 180 right now on the money line over at FanDuel. Before we head out here, before I let you go, any FCS games that are interesting to you or FCS futures you want to talk? Because I know you do a little bit of FCS stuff as well. Anything you like in terms of this upcoming week, or if you want to talk futures, we can talk that as well.
Yeah, we can do both. It's interesting. This is a great weekend for FCS football in the quarters. You're going to get 8 strong teams. This tournament is wide open. I thought it was wide open before North Dakota State lost at home to Illinois State. Didn't think that was going to happen, but I did think that this tournament was wide open. I think South Dakota can go to Montana and run the football. LJ Phillips has been an exceptional running back for them all season. They're big and physical on the offensive line. South Dakota started their season with such a sour taste in their mouth, losing against Lamar, losing against Iowa State in blowout fashion, really struggling with Northern Colorado, who's a bad Big Sky team at home. But they've really found their groove offensively, and I think that they'll be able to have success running the ball against the Montana front. And their play action game with Aiden Bowman, their quarterback, is really exceptional. He's very good at connecting on deep shots. Many teams take their deep shots, but they ends in an incomplete pass or maybe a pass interference flag. The Yotes are really good at connecting on those deep shots. We saw that manifest itself against Mercer. And I also think that Villanova is in major trouble this weekend going to Tarleton State. Tarleton proved that they have what it takes to compete against the top tier teams in FCS in the trenches. And if you look at how Villanova's first game of the playoff season against Lehigh, they were dominated up and down the field by Lehigh, and it was missed field goals, red zone fumbles, stopped on down on the goal line. Lehigh outgained them significantly and marched up and down the field. I don't think that Tarleton will turn the ball over or flub up their chances in the red zone, and I think they'll win that game by 2 touchdowns.
All right. Looking at South Dakota then and Tarleton State. Tarleton State right now 11.5 minus 110, so you can take them on the spread if you like them to win by 2 touchdowns at FanDuel. Looking towards futures, anyone you like in terms of the board right now? It seems like Montana State is the almost odds-on favorite, plus 110 right now. Tarleton State, who you just mentioned, plus 200. Anything you like in the championship winner odds?
Yeah, I think Tarleton State's a good play here at plus 200 or better. And you know what? I was talking to our friend Joey K about this one earlier yesterday. The Yotes are in the mix. They are a very talented bunch. They're very big and physical in the defensive front seven, and they will create problems for anybody. So if you want a long shot future in FCS, USD is not a bad play.
Okay, all right. I don't know about the South Dakota. That's my Joy Condition freshman there. So, appreciate you joining the show. Step on the Duck. You can catch him on the Action Network. Follow him on Twitter. Link in the description down below. Any final thoughts before you head out here in terms of, it could be like just looking back at the college football season or looking ahead maybe to next year, or, hey, I'll let you play commissioner for a day. Anything you want to change? What are your final thoughts before you head out here for the college football season?
Well, I thought it was fun how you were talking with your last guest about what the solve is for the playoff conundrum to try to avoid G5 representation. And I don't think you can do that. You can't relegate the G5 to their own sort of playoff. You can't exclude them and say, yeah, no matter what you do, you don't have a chance. I think that we're coming to if you're going to award 5 conference winners, it's going to be the P4 plus 1, which would solve it. You could add a qualifier that you have to have scheduled 2 Power 4 opponents, or you have to be ranked in the top 20 or whatever else. I think the 4+1 model works because you're at least giving every team an equal chance to win their conference, be ranked high enough. And I like the participation. Does it make for the absolute most thrilling football? Not necessarily, and this year, maybe with Tulane, I don't think that they have the horses. I don't know that James Madison is going to go to Oregon and win, but I think that you have to give those teams a little bit of representation. I'll tell anyone out there, start your prep earlier and earlier in the offseason, because you're going to have 5,000 or 6,000 players that are entering the portal. We've got conference realignment coming next year with the Pac-12 being rebranded. Coaches are going to change hands at a frantic pace here. So get your prep started early so you're not behind the 8 ball when all the magazines come out in June.
All right, I'll try and be ahead of that as well, and we'll try and prep you guys on the show. Step on the Duck. Appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Awesome stuff there. Great segment. One's in the chat. I see a lot of chat messages saying great guest. Duck is a pure pro. I think I agree with you guys. One's in the chat.
Shout out Moretto doing his job.
Yeah, there we go. Instead of the other guy behind the scenes who, by the way, still has a suitcase behind him, texting on his phone. I don't even know if he's listening to us right now. Anyways,
I swear that suitcase has been. You'll see it there. I swear it's been there for like 2-3 weeks now.
All right, before we bring on Kirk here and discuss the elephant in the room that everyone wants us to talk about, I just want to give a shout out to our Discord. Not sure if you guys have heard yet. We have a new Discord here at the Hammer Betting Network. I don't think we can call it new anymore. It's not new anymore. It's not new. We have a Discord. Not new. A Discord. There's over 1,300 members. It's pretty big.
Well-oiled machine at this point.
Oh, yeah. There were a bunch of people in there bantering, talking about the games. Rob's in there as well, giving out his fair primetime touchdown scores. Chat directly with us. Chat directly with the community. A lot of people ask us, where can I go after the show to keep talking about sports and talking about betting on these games? That's where you want to go. Alex fires off Saturday NHL bets. Clive has team totals. Tons of stuff in there. Tons of value. Discord.gg/Hammer.
Link in the description.
Link in the description down below. All right. Elephant in the room time. Let's bring him on. He is an NBA bettor and a self-acclaimed Heisman expert. No? Maybe? No? Okay, he's not. He's not a Heisman expert. Kirk, how's it going?
Going good. How are you?
I'm good. I was gonna label you as what's that phrase you keep telling me to
Adverse selection.
There we go. Yeah, big adverse selection guy. There we go.
It doesn't shock me that you don't know. Don't even know what the phrase is.
I know what it is. No, I don't know what it is. Anyways, I didn't have to Google it. Don't worry. Big adverse selection guy, Kirk. Everyone wants us to talk about it. Let's just lead off with it. Biggest elephant in the room. Most important thing to talk about here. First thing that comes to everyone's mind when they see both of us on screen. How's your golf swing coming along?
You know, I'm rebuilding it. I'm glad you asked. Let's take 20 minutes and talk about my golf swing. I had a very over the top swing before, and I had a wicked fade. And this winter, I decided, fuck it. I'm rebuilding it. I've been watching TikToks. I'm going more into out, but I have some club face problems, but we're still early.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that because we were texting a little bit back and forth, and you said I'm a little busy right now at the sim. So, yeah.
I've been grinding at the sim.
We appreciate that. Hopefully you've been grinding NBA as well because we have some NBA action to get into. Do you want to talk Heisman at all? Like I feel like we've exhausted it. We can talk it if you want.
I'm genuinely not following. I just look at updates from like group chats I'm in. It sounds like Pavia is back to being alive, which again, like I said you were as wrong as humanly possible, but actually if Pavia wins in this situation, you were more wrong than I thought even possible.
Okay. Maybe. We'll see. We will see. That doesn't matter to me. I have $0 on it. So.
It matters to you. It matters to you. We don't need to lie about that.
No, I just.
It absolutely matters.
That's what everyone's saying.
And I will say, I do want to circle back to this. There was a moment. It was a bit of chaos during that segment.
Yeah.
But there was a moment where Jeff mentioned the messages you had sent him pre-episode, and we brushed past it. But you fucking panicked.
I did not panic.
You were like, don't show those. Don't show those.
Yeah, so I didn't panic.
We do need to revisit that, and we might need to get that verbatim text message.
No, I will. Honestly, I'll tell you exactly. We talked about it on the show already. I just said, make sure Kirk doesn't say that I have $0 on this because I asked him to bet it for me, and he refused to do so. And I tried to get down on it, and people also refused to let me get down on it. So
I think
I tried.
You having $0 on it is like the only redeemable part of this whole story is that in your heart of the hearts, you knew that you were being an idiot.
No, because also one part we're leaving out here is if we scroll back through the messages, I said I'm okay with getting rid of 1-0 and letting it go because I don't like the fact that I have I don't want to completely void it. I feel wrong doing that.
Yeah, you did say that, and I refused.
Yeah, so
that's true.
There you go. Anyways, let's get into the NBA Cup. Any reactions from the first set of games from yesterday? I believe Toronto lost to the Knicks, and the Magic beat the Heat. Any reactions to that?
Yeah, I thought the quality of play was really good. I didn't pay that much attention to the Knicks Toronto game. It wasn't that close after like the second quarter. But I thought the Orlando Miami game was awesome. The Heat started up 15-0. I had Orlando in that game, so that comeback was fun to watch. Yeah, Desmond Bane is a fucking baller, and Paolo, I'm starting to question how good of actual NBA player Paolo is. And I think Orlando is going to struggle some without Franz for sure. But I thought it was an awesome game, and I thought both teams like really wanted to win.
Okay. All right. Let's look ahead to the. Is it laundry day at your place?
Well, you see
this guy can't even like move his laundry out of the
that suitcase as well is still there.
The suitcase. Like that, I just have a pretty big office and don't really have a place for my suitcase.
Okay, that's fair. But like at least
laundry, hand up. That's on me. Tough luck.
I will say you could just like lower the handle on the suitcase. I think that's like the biggest sticking point for me.
I think it adds like a touch of character to the room.
Personally, I like the board.
He's got a suitcase always packed in case a bet goes wrong.
There you go.
Exactly. If my props lose tonight, I'm on the play.
All right. Well, then let's talk about your props tonight. Hopefully they don't lose. I don't think they will, though. Maybe I just mushed you. Which game do you want to start with here? Suns and Thunder, or do you want to start with the other game, Spurs and Lakers?
No, let's start Suns, Thunder. I've got 2 props in this one. Mostly because I think one has a pretty good chance of just getting voided, but we can start with that.
Yeah.
Devin Booker under 6.5 assists. Best price in market, I believe, is at FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite best price, but pretty close.
I mean, like best in terms of like you can actually bet it.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that assessment for sure. Yeah, I think this is like pretty much what I would price of absolute full Booker against the Thunder here. The Thunder, unsurprisingly, best defense in the league, really limit assists. And Booker's coming off a groin injury. I think if he there's just so many paths to him playing sub 30 minutes. It's a 14.5 point spread right now. I think if he plays, it'll probably come down a little bit from that, but it's obviously a lot of blowout potential. I do think these teams will be trying harder in these games, but a groin soft tissue injury, typically you come back, you're on at least somewhat of a limit. So, this would be my fair line if he was playing projected for 35 minutes and I'm closer to 31. So I make this a pretty decent sized edge.
All right, so there's no chance Booker gets more than 7 assists, is what you're saying.
No, I would say there's
I'm kidding.
A 42% chance.
You didn't have to put a percentage on it, but I appreciate you doing that. You're saying it might get voided because there's a chance Booker doesn't play, I assume. Right?
Yeah, he's questionable. I think he actually might miss. I thought he was going to play. I actually have some positions that might be bad because of that, but I think he might miss.
All right, let's talk us through our next one that you have here. Then you have one more in this game.
Yeah, one more in this game. It's not up at every book, but it is up at our good friends at FanDuel.
Company man.
I'm going Alex Caruso over 4.5 points. I believe the line is minus 120. Yep, over 4.5 points, minus 120. He's come back from injury as well, but he's not a guy who's, he's not playing 30 minutes anyway. I have him projected for like 18.5, 19. I have this line just too low for a general Alex Caruso game for 17, 18 minutes. And I do think teams actually want to win. And Caruso's typically a guy who they limit his minutes to be fresh for the playoffs because he is a guy who gets injured. But this is an NBA Cup game. I think if this is close, they're going to play pretty seriously down the stretch. So I was looking at potentially taking some of like the other guys' guards, unders. But this Caruso points I thought was just the best way to play it. I think he has, maybe 26, 27-minute upside where in a normal regular season game he wouldn't. And I have this even just for his median number, I have this as plus EV. So he has some upside. and I think it's good either way.
All right. You could also get minus 118 if you scroll up and go to score 5+ points instead of just his regular points line.
I like that. I like that.
So you get 2 cents of two extra cents there. But we'll mark it down as minus 120 just for
if you want to play like plus 40, 80, 10 plus. I don't think they have anything. Maybe a sprinkle there. I probably would make that good as well, especially considering I do think there's an upside to the minutes, but I probably wouldn't go much above that. Or maybe like I haven't looked if he even has a 3 line, but I probably would like that as well.
Okay, I'll try and take a peek there while you talk us through the next game. You have any props for the next game?
Yes, I do.
Talk us through it.
So this one, I actually thought that this game was priced very well. I did not have much I liked, and for my personal props, I'll probably be playing a lot more of this Phoenix game. And I do probably make the first 2 plays in the Phoenix game better than this one in terms of EV, but I do think this play's pretty good. Julian Champagny under. You can go under 10.5 points, or we could say official at FanDuel 14.5 points plus rebounds, minus 107. But I do make points good as well. He's been playing really well, and I do think he's very important to this team. But the Spurs are just getting a lot healthier. Castle was on a minutes limit last game. Harper's missed a lot of time. Fox obviously missed a lot of time. Castle's missed a lot of time. Wemby is still out, but other than that, they're fully healthy and they have a lot of guards. And I just think that this is priced a bit high based on, what he's been doing lately. I just can't get to this number in like 23.5 minutes, which is what I have projected. I can see why the price is here considering his minutes and scoring of late, but I imagine Castle's if he's limited, I think the limit will be a lot higher than it was last game. I think Fox is going to play a lot. I think Vassell is going to play a lot. Harper's still number 1 guy off the bench. They still have Keldon Johnson off the bench. They just have a lot of guys. It's extremely possible Champagny doesn't close. And if he doesn't close, he's going to probably play, 18, 19 minutes. So I just can't get to 14.5 points and rebounds, or, it's 10.5 points minus 118 at FanDuel. I'm closer to like 9.5 points is my fare here.
Okay, maybe that 14.5 will pop later on FanDuel in the week. But yeah, we're looking for Champagny under 14.5 points plus rebounds, but on FanDuel not available. So we're just going to take the points.
Wait, no, that is available on FanDuel.
It's not listed right now.
Wow.
He's not listed.
This is lying to me?
What?
Oh no, my unabated is lying to me.
This guy is our sponsor. Yeah, it's not listed right now at points plus rebounds. All right. It might have been listed earlier and pulled.
I take it back. We'll take under 10.5 minus 118. I do think there are better numbers out there, but I would never play a play not at our sponsors, so don't play that. But I still do make under 10.5 minus 118 good.
Yeah, 10.5 minus 118 unless you live in Florida, this is one of the better prices in market. And again, you wouldn't be able to, if you're betting with this, you're not gonna be able to bet there. Am I just missing it? Someone's saying it's listed. I'm looking right now. I don't see it under points plus rebounds. I don't see it. Maybe Jacob can audit me on that one. Any other props you have for this game?
No. That's all I got for you.
That's it. Any futures you like for the NBA Cup? Is anything worth playing? Is it just Oklahoma City's like tournament to win? Like, are they just the monster, like behemoth of a team that just no one's going to topple this entire NBA season?
Yeah, like they're beatable. Yeah. I don't think that I don't have a bet on them. Minus 130, I think is actually maybe make minus 130 decent, but I would need to check. I don't really have any bets. The stuff I would be looking at, which I'm not going to say bet because I think they're close, and I have not personally bet these. So, and I actually think the line I'm about to say isn't on FanDuel. So the 2 bets I'm like looking for MVP are, I think Desmond Bane is like a near stone cold lock to win MVP if Orlando wins the tournament. Like, Paolo missed 3 games. and Bane is like debatably better as a player right now than Paolo, and just put up 37 points. So I do think Bane is like pretty much locked to win MVP if Orlando. Look, I maybe shouldn't say locked. I think like right now, FanDuel has Paolo as more likely. That's like certifiably insane. I think that Bane probably has like 95% of Orlando's equity if they win, but like I'm not that much past, even the plus 1,300 for Orlando to win. If OKC loses tonight and they don't adjust as much, Bane is a name I would be looking for. And then I do think if the Spurs win the tournament, Wemby still probably will win MVP or has a very good shot.
Interesting.
He's not listed at FanDuel. I just think it would be hard to not give it to Wemby, just how like overwhelmingly better he is. And if he plays insanely well in these two games, which he probably would have to for these two wins, it's kind of the opposite of the Paolo take, but like Bane and Paolo, like Bane is better than Paolo at basketball right now versus like, obviously De'Aaron Fox is nowhere near as good as Wemby. So yeah, if the Spurs win tonight and the books don't adjust that Wemby price, I would take a look, but again, I'm not even sure he's going to be back. So I didn't bet at either of these, but that's kind of where I'm looking generally. If you can scan the board and find like a Desmond Bane at like better than 17, 18 to 1, I'd probably think that's good. Wemby, it's kind of more something I have circled than something I'm looking to bet.
Yeah, is he for sure playing tonight? By the way, like that's been
no, he's for sure not playing.
Okay, so sorry, the next 2 games is what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just think his stats will be so much better in the next 2 games, and he's banked some games already.
Okay,
so I think it would be hard to just like if the Spurs win to not give Wemby the MVP. But again, I'm this is much more a theoretical thought than an actual bet. Versus Bane, again, if you want to bet Orlando to win NBA Cup, like if you have that inclination, then to me Bane MVP is like a way better price and a way better bet. But again, they're out at +4 against the Knicks right now. They still probably will have to beat OKC, and that's tough. And even they're going to be road dogs, or actually they would be at home. They probably would be small favorites to the Lakers. Oh no, sorry. These games are in Vegas. They would definitely be dogs to the Lakers. Probably would be dogs to San Antonio with Wemby back as well. Obviously would be favorites against Phoenix. So, I just, without Franz, I think their prices, like, I just kind of think they're overpriced. That's why I'm not betting Bane. But if you want to bet Orlando, I think Bane is a much better path to take.
All right, yeah, I shop around for that. And maybe, again, if they squeak through here, that's when you go take a stab. Anything else you like in terms of the futures market? Have you looked at it at all? If not, you want to talk about like Oklahoma City Thunder and just like how crazy of a season they might be able to put together. FanDuel has some like crazy stuff listed right now, like Oklahoma City Thunder current win streak to reach 29 plus consecutive games. They're at 15 right now. That's priced as plus 680. That would break the Golden State Warriors record of 28. Oklahoma City Thunder current streak to reach 34 plus consecutive games, which would be an NBA record. Anything you like in terms of Oklahoma City Thunder or any other futures on the board?
Yeah, well, the thing I like with OKC is championship. Like I would still be taking more championship. It's still ridiculously good. Like
what was the phrase I said to you? Why are people investing in the S&P 500 when when you could take Oklahoma City Thunder to win the NBA championship?
Yeah, like that. I don't want to quite say that.
Of course,
like,
I know
it's kind of true.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
It is kind of like
it was at plus 160 when we said that. But yeah, anyways,
is so much better than any other team in the league. It's not even close. Before J-Dub came back, the OKC Thunder were the best team I've ever had in my spread rankings. They are, I believe in my spread rankings, 7 points better than any other team on a neutral. So yeah, these look, the Phoenix Suns are good. The Phoenix Suns are going to make the playoffs. The OKC Thunder are 14.5 point. The Minnesota Timberwolves with no Booker were just 8-point favorites against Phoenix. Now with Booker, OKC is going to be 13.5 point favorites if Booker plays. Like, this team is in a league of its own. And I think maybe Denver and Houston are the only two teams in the league that would be favorites over OKC if Shea was out. That's how much better this team is than everyone else. If the second best player in the league was out, OKC is still like very live to win the championship.
Wow. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Kirk, appreciate you joining the show. All the best luck. If I don't see you on Saturday, good luck with the Heisman bets. We are still.
I didn't even know it was on Saturday.
It's on Saturday. We are still going to get the best wings in the city, and I think you might have said that there's no chance this place has the best wings in the city, but I would like to change your mind.
I would be stunned. But I'll give you a shot.
Come in with an open mind, and I appreciate that. I'll try and be more open minded moving forward with your opinions as well. Kirk, appreciate you joining the show.
Later, guys.
We'll chat soon. Good stuff there from Kirk.
You say you're going to get wings?
Yeah, I told him part of our bet
was dinner.
Just get dinner.
Where are you going for wings?
To the Wheat Chief. The best wings in the city.
Kirk, I'm confident you're not getting the best wings in the city.
Where are the best? Okay, Crown and Dragon is the only other place that probably has better wings.
Best wings I've had here are at left field, actually.
I'm willing to stake a lot that left field is not as good as the Wheat Chief in terms of their wings.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, well, we have to do a hammer outing there with Jeff. Jeff will come. George will come.
It'd be a lot easier to go to left field.
Obviously. It's actually not. It's not even that far. It's like 5 minutes away.
Left field's looked a lot closer.
Yeah, we could just Uber there. Whatever. Anyways, appreciate you joining the show.
Let's play Guess the Line.
Yeah, let's play Guess the Line. Sorry.
All right. We'll run through. So speaking of OKC and J-Dub, he's our first on Guess the Line today. Jason, you're going to get 3 guesses. I'll give you the over or under on your first 2 guesses to see if you can get it on the third guess. First one is J-Dub, Jalen Williams, points, rebounds, and assists.
Now, like, are they limiting his? Like, this is what I don't know. Are they like limiting his minutes? Do we know if he's like? Because I know he's just recently coming back from an injury, right?
This doesn't look like a healthy line.
Okay, so let's go with.
Not by a lot though.
Okay, still not very helpful. Let's go 26.5. Higher. Okay. The way the way the face you made there makes me seem like it's a lot higher. Let's go 33.5.
Lower.
Okay, we're in the middle range here. All right, 26.5 to 33.5. I should have said 30. I knew it. Let's go with 29.5.
That's correct. Bang. First one is good. Second, guess the line. Baker Mayfield passing attempts Thursday Night Football as they host Atlanta.
There's so much uncertainty in that game though, because we don't know a lot about the injury status of Wirfs. We don't know about Evans. I want to say it's in like 32.5.
Lower.
Okay. Lower. Okay. It's going to be 28.5.
Higher.
Okay. I knew it was in that range. Let's go 29.5 again.
31.5. Not quite. Last one.
Okay.
Alabama, Oklahoma. Total points in the game. First game of the CFB playoffs.
I just looked at this. I have no idea. Listen, this Oklahoma team has kind of limped into the playoffs. Alabama also kind of looks like ass. Like, I think this is going to be like a lower total. Let's go with like 45.5.
Lower.
40.5.
Correct.
There we
Second
go.
guess.
Okay.
Well done. 2 out of 3.
All right.
For today. Also, while we were live, Pete Alonso signed for the Baltimore Orioles.
What? Why are guys getting in our division? Enough of this stuff.
Enough of the AL East is too good.
What are we doing? When are we restructuring? I thought we were
AL East needs one bad team to like at least you're gonna take care of the Orioles. You got to get through the other guys.
Yeah, like what the?
We don't need the Orioles.
Was this
up now too?
Was this on like
again
on people's radars? Like, was this a thing that he was?
I don't follow baseball enough,
like,
but this is a pretty big shock to me that the Orioles landed a big free agent like that.
I didn't see anything like that. Interesting. It's a great player. Sucks. Another good player in our division. And I also saw some stuff about Tariq Skubal going to like potentially getting traded to the Dodgers, which would also be fucking insane. Like, as if their pitching staff could somehow get like any better. But like, like it's gonna be barely. I don't know. Anyways, hope you enjoyed Guess the Line. Hope you enjoyed the show here today.
Around the Hammer, by the way, I'll just do it quickly.
I closed my computer for Guess the Line. That's fully my bad.
Around the Hammer, we've got today Circles Off video. We did a Life of a Capper video, another one from the series. I interviewed 9 pro bettors while we were at Bet Bash, and I asked them if they think sportsbooks should offer equal limits for all of their customers. And we got some interesting answers there, and I think you should go check that out right now. I put the link in the chat for that one. It is past 1 p.m. You can watch that right now. As soon as this ends, you can go there.
Go there. Watch it.
Now the show's over.
After the show. Again, do us a favor, smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. I'm going to keep reminding everyone, it's the Christmas season. Be in the holiday spirit. Double check you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, give us a subscription. Give it to us. It's free. It does nothing for you. Nothing goes to your email inbox. Nothing like that. If you do want to be notified when we go live, even though we go live every noon, every weekday here on the Hammer HQ YouTube channel, if you do want to be notified, you can click the notification bell. You don't really need to, though. You can click it if you want. But if you click the subscribe button, nothing happens. You just are subscribed to our channel. And it does us a huge favor. So it's the giving season. Throw us a bone here. Click that subscribe button. And while you're there, click the like button as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the chat. Shout out to all the guests today, including Step on a Duck, who absolutely blew the other 2 losers out of the water with a great segment there. This has been the Wednesday, December 10th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Bang Network, presented by FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow.